pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, can you call the roll?
A quorum is present.
Before we get started, we have a commendation from the City Clerk honoring Inglewood resident Miss Anaya Connor, United States Junior Juror Representative of the 38th Annual International Circus Festival of Monte Carlo. Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We're going to honor Anaya Connor. She's in the audience. Could you stand up? She looks so beautiful, doesn't she? Isn't that a, oh, she's just so whereas Anaya Connor was awarded first place in the Consulate General of Monaco Annual Monte Carlo International Circus Festival Student Art Contest, earning her spot as junior juror representing the United States and her home, City of Inglewood, California, and an all-expense-paid trip for her and her family to Monaco. Whoa. Whereas Anaya Connor made history at the 38th Annual International Circus Festival of Monte Carlo when she was selected as the first junior juror to represent the United States of America, and her recognition was particularly noteworthy inasmuch as she was the only participant without any formal art training, a feat which highlights her natural talent and ability and is sure to be the precursor to a successful art career. Whereas Anaya Connor is deserving of special recognition as an outstanding young lady who not only made history in representing the United States of America and the City of Inglewood, bringing favorable attention to the City of Champions at the 38th Annual International Circus Festival of Monte Carlo. Anaya Connor received recognition from Her Serene Highness Princess Stephanie of Monarch, who presided over the International Circus Festival of Monte Carlo as president of the festival, managing the entire production from the selection of an honorary and junior jurors and the acts to scheduling the events, daily events that arrange the competition and display the best in circus performance. And now, therefore, be resolved that the City of Inglewood, City Clerk Yvonne Horton, and our City Council, on behalf of the City of Inglewood, does hereby acknowledge the outstanding accomplishments and international representation of the City of Inglewood by Anaya Connor, and hereby congratulates Anaya Connor for her distinguished service as a junior juror at the 38th Annual International Circus Festival of Monte Carlo, and for the example of hard work and discipline she has provided for others. Thank you so very much. Her family is here too, so can we have you guys come up so we can take a picture with you?
Public comment. Any members of the public want to comment on anything on tonight's agenda may do so at this time.
Good evening. Gil Matthew, District 4, Mayor and City Council. I'd like to speak concerning financial condition of this city. Here again, we have the successor agency.
Mr. Matthew,
Yes, sir.
that's not on the agenda. You can speak about
Finance is
anything.
on the agenda, sir,
Where's that?
on Warren and bills.
No, I'm not going to allow that from now on.
Well, payment of the bills.
You can talk about payment of the bill.
All right, payment of the bills. Now we have a successor agency in which we are paying bills. And the bills we are paying concerns the outstanding debt. Now, the outstanding debt at this point until June 30th, 2014 is $131,335,992.
Cutting it down from that billion, then that's good.
But it's there. You're the chairman of the committee, so you should know what you're paying. Now, on a low moderate income housing trust fund, we owe $720 million. And we're going in the right direction because it started at $1.2 billion. So now the debt is at $850 million. So we're able to pay it. Now, what I want to know publicly, why it's not divulged to the public on payment of the bills? This is money that we are paying. So with that, Mayor Butts, you are the chairman of the agency. It's a state agency. It's two separate pots of money. So don't come with this different information. It's in the general fund. How could we pay 5%? How much is 5% of the 800 million? Don't do that, Mayor Butts. You're being televised. And there are people in this city who have served on these committees and companies and corporations. They retired, and they're laughing. It's laughable. And those tapes go to the governor. So be careful, and you should review your comments because it's embarrassing to this city. Now, on parking and enterprise services, item number 4. Now you have, what is the effective date of the contract and what is the terms of the contract? And if in fact you're giving money to this enterprise service with equipment, is that permanent, or when its contract is terminated or whatever, is that returned to the city?
Thank you, Mr. Matthew.
You're very welcome, sir, but be patient and be kind to your residents.
Mr. Mayor, my name is Joseph Texera. I'm here concerning check 555803, the payment to the Los Angeles Times. I support the use of the Los Angeles Times and any respectable newspaper for any type of advertising or any other services to this city, because one thing that's good about a paper that has the large-scale sales and circulation as the Times is that they are not swayed by a couple of $1,000s or tens of thousands of dollars a year. If you take out an ad in the Times, they're not going to say, we're getting money from the city of Inglewood, so we can't report that their mayor is breaking the law. No, because they have millions of dollars that they get, and our little tens of thousands of dollars a year puts no pressure on them, as opposed to the paper we have now, Inglewood Today, that is dependent on the survival of the paper on our payments. The Los Angeles Times would also be neutral, as opposed to the Inglewood Today newspaper, which is well known for hiding the problems that this council has gotten into over the past years, again, because of Mayor Butts being found by the DA having violated civil rights and violated state law on multiple occasions. Los Angeles Times also, if we have a Los Angeles Times person sitting in here once a week or once a month, I guarantee you that this mayor would not be so flippant about breaking the law. If we had a Los Angeles Times reporter back there, I guarantee you that this mayor would watch his P's and Q's. He can't just act like a fool anytime he wants, because all he's worried about is the 24 people in here and the 24 people that are watching on Time Warner. If there was a Los Angeles Times person back there as opposed to the 2 people from Inglewood today in here, he would know, or he would at least suspect, that if he did something wrong, it would not be covered up. Whether or not it was a staff reporter from the Los Angeles Times, or whether or not it was an independent person that was representing the Los Angeles Times, I'd be willing to bet that the mayor would not have conducted himself in the abysmal way that he has conducted himself over the last 3 years. Because if someone's sitting back there in a nationally circulated, it may not be at all the stands, but a nationally circulated newspaper, this mayor would have to attend to some of the problems that we have in this city, crime, the problems with the way things are handled in this chamber here. Mr. Matthew was up here. The mayor has no problem just interrupting him just whenever he wants, but if somebody says something from out there, he threatens to throw him out. So I support any use of the Los Angeles Times or any reputable paper as opposed to the low-life, distributed throwaway paper, Inglewood Today, and their low-life publisher, Willie Brown.
Heather Austin. I want to comment and congratulate the board, the council, and the mayor on item 5, Park and Rec and Library Services. I think this is a nice reach out you're doing for the families and the kids. I'm so glad you partnership with South Bay and to help them, because it is like we have a lot of problems there. As you see on the news, we have a lot of problems with the kids being maltreated and kidnapped. A lot of things is going on, so I think that's nice. Also, could I speak on the city clerk on the closed agenda?
What do you, on the
I
close?
wanted to mention about the election. I think that's very, very smart to have the election November the 4th.
Oh, yes. Yes, you can. Yes,
I can speak on it? Okay. I noticed that you asking for the 4th, the city clerk is for the mayor election. Now, that will save us, how much, about $100,000 if we merge it, something like that?
It saves money, I'm sure Ms.
A lot of
Ms.
money.
Horton could give us the amount at her closing
Yeah,
comment.
now that is a wonderful, fantastic idea to merge it. That way we'll get more voters out next to the voting that we just had that passed. It would bring out more voters. And it would become a fair election where you won't have anybody saying, well, he stole this and they stole that and they give that. You can't steal with the state election. So that way, whoever wins the mayor race, won it fair and square. So yes, I really, really think that's a good thing. Also, I want to say something about Inglewood today.
Well, then you're talking about payment of the
Well, let's
bills.
say about payment of the bills.
All right.
For us Inglewood today, now what I call a bad newspaper is Morningside Chronicle. That's the worst paper could have ever floated in this city.
There's no payment to Inglewood today.
Morningside Chronicle.
Hold on one second.
First
If
of
you do
all-
that again, you'll have to leave, and I mean it.
Good.
When you're up here, your 3 minutes, do what you want,
Good.
but you're not totally out of control here. Go ahead.
Good. First of all, they put things in the newspaper that is seriously a lie. I know for a fact half of the stuff is a lie. I was told all kind of lies, and I believed it like a fool. And I want to let the Inglewood residents know, the 24 that is watching, do not believe anything you read in that Morningside Chronicle. It's not true. Inglewood today is the paper that Inglewood and the council and the mayor approved to use. When you get and open that paper, it's steady informing you of what the city is doing to move forward in the mayor. That's what I want to let the people know. Do not worry about what's in Morningside Chronicle.
And Mr. Teixeira, I'm going to tell you something. The Los Angeles Times wasn't on payment of the bills either, but you got to speak about that. Free speech doesn't stop at what you want, and it's not going to. Go ahead, Mr. Bimbo.
Michael Bendo, First District, also in support of number 5, Parks and Recreation. And I wanted to say, also mention opening ceremonies, I have something to say about that. And I was very happy to hear that about the young lady and representing Inglewood. And that goes toward my past comments about the youth in this city. We need to take care of the youth in this city. I would love to have heard that, yeah, she's trained in the city of Inglewood. We got to work on that. And anyway, just to wrap this up, I appreciate your time and your services today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I had that backwards. Los Angeles Times was on payment of the bills. I didn't think Inglewood today was, but it was spoken about. Go ahead.
My name is Willie A.G., and just what Michael Bimbo just stated about that young lady, I was really excited about having a young lady in the beautiful city of Inglewood to accomplish something like that. That is really saying
Wasn't
something.
it, though?
I would have loved to hear her get up and make a speech, you know, but I'm here to support item 3, 4, and 5, and especially 5. This is really nice. I think we're coming up. Really, we're moving. Regardless of what the naysayers say, Inglewood is on the move, and no doubt about it. And the mayor of Inglewood will be elected by a landslide, and that will
That's not on
prove
the
to the
agenda, right?
naysayers.
Well,
Thank you.
the election was on the agenda, so I guess you could talk about it. Yeah. All right. Okay, we'll close public comment. Item 1, let's open the successor agency and the housing authority. Madam Clerk, is there
A quorum is present.
Item 1, CSA 1 and H1.
Move allow payment of the bills.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council and agency members, Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Chairman Buds.
Aye. You can read PH1, but it's going to be continued until June 24th, 2014.
Public hearing to consider an appeal of the Planning Commission denial of a special use permit to allow the sale of beer and wine and distilled spirits for off-site consumption at Family Dollar Store located at 1000 South La Brea Avenue.
And that's continued, as I stated earlier. Consent calendar items 2 through 5.
I so move.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
Council members, Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. A1.
Thank you, Mayor. As to the closed session item, there was a CS1 confidential regarding the labor negotiation with the city's various labor groups. The negotiators for the city is Artie Fields, the city manager, and Jack Hoffman, the chief negotiator. As to that, discussions were held and no final action was taken. As to A2, there's no oral reports from the city attorney's office.
Thank you. CM1.
I have no city manager reports tonight.
CC1.
Resolution calling and giving notice of the holding of a mayor election to be held on Tuesday, November 4th, 2014.
Move adoption.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
Council members, Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. CC2.
Resolution requesting that the Board of Supervisors of the County of Los Angeles to consolidate a mayoral election to be held on November 4th, 2014, with the statewide general election to be held on that same day.
I so move.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
Council members, Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. Madam Clerk, do you have any other oral reports?
No, I just want to thank everybody. The little girl was so cute. I'm just thrilled about it.
Gorgeous.
And it's just nice to
Gorgeous.
hear positive things, some energy that comes to the council. It's just really kind of awesome. I wanted to remind people, don't forget, June 20th, we have the Women's Conference at Cal State Dominguez Hills from 8 to 5. Let's see it. I wanted to, If you haven't registered, you need to at 1-888-847-9652. I gave you the close the meeting in memory earlier, so we'll pass on that. Thank you so much. That's the end of my closing remarks.
Okay, we'll open the Finance Authority.
Quorum is present.
Item CT1, CSA2, H2, and F1.
Monthly Treasurers Report for the month ending March 31st, 2014.
Receive and file. And I just wanted to let people know that on PH1, that is being continued at the request of the appellant. CT1, Madam City Treasurer. Came kind of fast, huh?
Madam Treasurer, your mic.
Oh, your microphone.
Oh, yes, okay.
Okay, and we don't want to miss a word.
Will you move the clock back then? Okay, the Treasurer's Report for the month of March. And for the City of Inglewood, the funds on hand is $93,362,891, with the interest, debt earning is $31, and the interest earnings, $40,095. The successor agency funds under management is $107,919,801. And the debt service interest generated is $10,501, and the interest earning $18. Housing, $100,568. Public Finance Authority, $13,493, $348. And the interest generated for debt service is $1,556. Total funds under management is $214,876,606. And again, there's a full report that you can follow along with graphs that breaks down everything that I've just covered, along with the detailed information. So it's about an 8-page report that's outside for you to review. And also the funds that have bills that was paid for the month of May was $14,696,523.20. Thus far for June, $2,085,860.53 thus far. And the number of bank failures, just one bank failure, and that was in Illinois, with access of $63 million, and it cost the FDIC $18 million. Thus far, the total banks that have failed from 2007 to date is 499 banks. And the total assets of these failed banks is $701 billion. And the loss to the FDIC is $96.8 billion through the FDIC. And also, I would like to also just report that that regarding the community financial seminar that I will be putting on, have not set up a date yet. But some of the topics that will be discussed will be reverse mortgages, and I'll be sharing a lot of important information that folks really need to know about reverse mortgages. Folks think that, once you have a reverse mortgage, you don't have to make any more payments, you can just live there forever. But a lot of folks have lost their homes who have had reverse mortgages because they don't realize they still have to pay the taxes, they have to pay the insurance, and they have to keep the property up. So there's a lot of things that you still must pay with a reverse mortgage. You don't have to make the payments anymore, but those things that you must pay. And generally, I like to point out that reverse mortgages, for the most part, are equity eaters. I really never recommend them unless that's about the only way that, one can go. So we'll be talking a lot of important information about reverse mortgages. And also about insurance, kinds of insurance, term versus whole life, which is better. Also, different kinds of homeowners insurance, kinds of coverages, and how to determine which is better for your particular situation. And we'll talk about also home refinancing, how to best evaluate the best type of mortgage for yourself. Because I once had a friend that came into mortgage for about $400,000. You think that's a lot of money, which it is. Went and bought a home in another state that only cost roughly about $250,000. Lost that home about 8 months ago. you would think you would have paid cash for it, but didn't pay cash for it, but paid, a lot of factors there, but folks think if you have a lot of money, you can manage it, but if you can't manage a little bit of money, you will never be able to manage a lot of money. And you can, a lot of lotto winners can attest to that. And also, I'll talk about also first-time home buyers, how to determine the best mortgage that best suits your particular financial situation. And there'll be a lot of other topics that we will be discussing in that community, in Community Room A will be held, and I'll let you know the date. And it'll be about 4 weeks, and it's going to be held on a Saturday. So it'll be on a Saturday from about 2 o'clock until about 3:30, and I'll let you know the date. And also, I just want to congratulate another graduate that finished high school, and that's Matthew Gaines. He's a neighbor of mine. I think he was also in the cadet program, and I want to congratulate him. And just another congratulations to Ania Conner, who the city clerk just honored with a plaque. I want to congratulate them. I want to also congratulate all the council people and the mayor who participated in Relay for Life. I also participated in that, came out and walked around the track about 932 times. And so I did it for all of the council, so you just divide that evenly, and that's for each of you, including the mayor. And I also came out for the 9 o'clock candlelight part of it, too, which was very, very nice. So again, congratulations to all of you that supported that. That concludes my remarks and my
Madam
report.
City Treasurer, public comment. Yes, sir? Oh, okay, let's do this. We've already called the Housing Authority to order, so it's HPS PH1.
Staff report requesting that a public hearing be set to consider the Inglewood Housing Authority fiscal year 2014-15 annual plan.
Set the public hearing for June 24th, 2014 at 7 p.m. Adjourn the Inglewood Housing Authority. Now we're to public comment. Any persons wishing to comment on any
33.
city matter not covered on the agenda may do so at this time.
Well, up here,
Make sure I'm on
Right here.
PBS.
right here.
My name is Alfonso Parker Jr. I'm a Vietnam veteran, 66, 67, also a conscious objector. I was sent to Vietnam with no weapons training, no advanced training at all, just basic training. God brought me back. That's why you can look at me and I can look at you. I've been coming to this here board meeting for I don't know how long. And everybody thought it was a joke until a young man came in here. And if you read your newspaper, everything I've been telling you is coming to fruition. Everything. I'm no joke. I told you that from day one. Now, the VA is not our problem today. They are just the hired guns to go out and to do the dirty work. President Obama, Bush, Clinton, all of these presidents and commander-in-chiefs, secretary of defense, secretary of state are involved in this. Disabled American veterans, advocacies, nonprofit organizations that have seen a veteran's records. Before you can see a veteran's records, you must be vetted by the United States Air Force classified security procedures. That means you have a government security clearance. Those only people can see your records. And when you falsify records, DD-214, draft board records, medical records, and authorize them and put the presidential seal on them and let them stay in the system, and as a vetted person by the Air Force, you do not immediately report those documents, secure them, report them to the nearest United States Air Force Defense Security Center, and maintain them until you're relieved. You guard them. If you don't do that and you let them stay in the system, you're in violation of your national security clearance. Not only that, like Maxine Waters and others, you're in violation of your international security clearance because she has one of those because she messes around in Africa with finance. So all these Obama talking about he's going to investigate, he didn't know. By the way, Air Force security procedures cover you didn't know. They covered. I don't know the exact words, but it's in there. Basically, it says you should have known, because you were vetted. I'm a member of that VFW, that young man that twists his finger all the time. I got out. I'm 18-year member of Jackie Robinson. I ran for commander. And for you to ride a DD-214 with the president, say I was never in the military, Maxine Waters, and now I showed him to, at the your first meeting, to Stephen Bradford prior, he forwarded it, the good stuff, the bad stuff, he forwarded it to Dianne Feinstein. If you read your papers, none of this is national security, just read. They have been voting against you. Your problem is not the VA. They are just the hitmen. Your problem is these Congress people that have taken a United States Navy Marine Corps liberal arts course known in the Navy as G7, G5, G12, and G2. My God, it's a propaganda.
Thank you,
and if
sir.
they have a degree, those are the people that are
Thank you,
doing it,
sir.
and they've been doing it.
Sir, thank you.
And I want to see some
Sir.
Channel C and C,
Sir, we're
Channel
done.
2.
You're done, Alfonso.
And anybody that supports it, you're a collaborator.
Mr. Mayor, Council, my name is Tex here. Tonight was a perfect night of what a dishonest person, what a hypocrite Mayor Butts is. One person from the public speaks. Mayor Butts on 2 occasions has no problem interrupting him. Even though when we're up here, the public is up here, the mayor is supposed to keep his mouth shut unless he has some specific business that the chair is supposed to handle. But he has no problem interrupting people. Then when I point out from the audience that someone's speaking up here on something that is not on the warrant register, there was no payment to Inglewood tonight, only a payment to the Times. No one, Ms. Austin did not mention the Times, did not mention the payment to the Times, but the mayor let her talk about Inglewood Today, Morningside Chronicle, whatever she wanted, because the mayor is a hypocrite. He's a punk. He's just a punk. He has his power, and he does what he wants. And like I said, if there was a person from the Times back there who knows what the rules are of these meetings and sees the mayor do that, that kind of stuff would get into the paper. Now, let me get into what I was really here for before he acted a fool. What happened was, Willie Brown, in a previous article, and this is an article that several Inglewood residents, longtime Inglewood residents had a problem with, made the inference that he wants some people in Inglewood to move out because they complain at meetings. Well, the problem with his article is that he calls people outsiders. Now, Willie Brown and James Butts, they like to pretend like Inglewood is their home, but they're carpetbaggers. They're here to make money. Willie Brown doesn't live in Inglewood. No, 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 no. And if he ever did, it hasn't been recently. This is the grant deed to Willie Brown's previous house in Culver City with his wife and his name on it. And this is the grant deed to Willie Brown's house at 5625 Crescent Park West, number 404, a condo in Playa Vista, where he has lived since at least September of 2003. Willie Brown doesn't live here. He comes in here, oh, people don't like Inglewood. People don't like Inglewood. Why do they hate Inglewood? You can't pay Willie Brown to live in Inglewood. Willie Brown believes that Inglewood isn't good enough for him. He can't live here. He's too good to live in Inglewood. And what about James Butts? He moves here as mayor in the lowest prices in Inglewood in years. Does he buy a house? Does he buy a condo? Does he rent an apartment? No. Even though he wants to be mayor, he lives with his in-laws in a house that's under their name. And the only time he moved is when around the time Rod Wright got convicted of fraud because he didn't live in the district. You two pathetic. How can you do a job without lying and breaking the law? Pathetic.
It's always good to hear from you, Mr. Texera.
Yeah.
You're such a psycho.
I just wanted to say that he's more than pathetic. I'm concerned. I came to the council meeting tonight only to have this fool jump out from behind some bushes with a camera and attempt to ambush me with stupid ideas and accusations. And he always talking about what the judge probably says, et cetera, et cetera. Well, the judge probably knows and thinks that you're a thief as well, Mr. Texter. He probably thinks that as well when you use the word probably. The fact that you're trying to find records and information about me gives me great concern, and I just wanted to make the council and the public aware of the fact that I'm concerned about someone who seemed to be very unstable. He comes down here every Tuesday night at the council meeting and make all these stupid, ignorant, foolish accusations, calling people all kinds of names all the time. It is clear that people really recognize how stupid and how foolish and how pretty much off balance this individual is. And I just want to make it clear that I'm going to be paying particular attention to his actions. I will not be intimidated by him or anybody else. And I'm going to protect myself when he comes up to me the way he did in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Mayor Betts. Now, I have a question on HSPH 1 about the Section 8 housing. I've been on a waiting list now for the Osage apartments, and I realize that most of these people are getting angry with each other for no given reason, but except for, voice of opinion. I want to know, there happens to be an age limit on these houses or apartments that they're trying to enforce, and I thought it was more, like age, like being racist against age, because I'm 54 and they're saying that I've got to be 55 in order to move into an apartment.
I mean, I don't know what the requirements are, but if that's
Well, I mean,
if that's an
that's-
age restriction, I mean, it would be
Yeah,
what the
that's
government
not-
would make it. I'm not certain of what the restriction is, but,
Well, apparently they're being subsidized by the city.
well, the city only passes through any housing allotments. The city makes no direct, we have no funds where we directly subsidize. We may pass things through from the state, from the federal government, but we don't have a fund that the city controls. And the only way that we can pass out funds we receive from other entities is to adhere to their rules. So I don't know if what you're saying is true or not.
Right, well,
But if they give you an age restriction, it's not one the city promulgates. It's
Okay, but what
a
I-
restriction of the person that's granting the funds.
Okay, so what I'm asking is there a way to change that within our city bylaws?
No.
No?
No, we cannot change the restrictions and the guidelines for
On
funds that we
age?
pass through. And like I said, I don't know, I mean, the city manager will check to see if that is a restriction, but if it is, it would be one promulgated by the agency that we pass through the funds for.
Okay.
We don't set the guidelines. We adhere to the guidelines, and we're a distributor of the funds.
Okay,
Okay?
all right, thank you.
Any other public comment? Ms. Pacheco, I'd appreciate if you would go, and thank you.
My name is Willie A.G. I live in the beautiful city of Inglewood. As a disabled combat veteran and one who supports the First Amendment, it hurts my heart to see people come up to this mic and demean people that I know are the greatest people I know in the city of Inglewood. I don't care where you live. As long as you represent this city, then that's fine with me. And as far as the newspapers are concerned, there's only two papers that I don't allow on my property, period. That's the Chronicle and the LA Times. The only time I would permit one of those papers to come on my property is when I run out of toilet paper. That's what those papers are good for. I don't like the LA Times, and I hate the Chronicle. So we hear people come up here and they demean good people. And if they support the Chronicle, boy, they got a problem. Anyway, we have a big audience here in the city of Inglewood that watch this council meetings. And I know that they're able to separate facts from fictions. And believe me, the naysayers are loaded tonight. It hurts my heart to see a man like Mayor Butts and this council demean the way this particular gentleman come up here every week and do. But it's, the First Amendment give him that right. Maybe they like to see themselves on TV. Maybe they don't have any entertainment at home. You know, maybe they sit in a corner, you know, have nothing else to do, nobody to talk to. Well, I feel sorry for them. But they need to get another toy to play with. This is strictly business here. It's about the 115,000 people in the beautiful city of Inglewood. Keep up the good work, council, staff, everybody that's involved here. Let the naysayers do their dirt. Willie Brown, welcome to the city of Inglewood. Appreciate your paper. You can drop it in my house anytime.
Thank you.
Marion City Council, Gil Matthews, District 4. See, this is a wonderful thing about being in America. Everybody has a right to their opinion. And every other man has a right not to listen. That's America. However, when you get to the point that a person that disagrees with you is a naysayer and all these names, you have to remember, if it were not for naysayers, we wouldn't have the United States of America. And anybody calls anybody a name because
Like
they
a punk or
disagree.
something? Like punk, you're good with that?
They have a right to do that.
But naysayer bothers you, but punk doesn't.
Beg pardon?
Naysayer bothers you, but calling someone a punk doesn't.
No. No,
Okay,
no,
I
let me
didn't think
finish,
so.
Mr. Mayor, you're taking my time.
I'll give you 30 seconds.
I appreciate that very much, so we progressing. However, let me say this. Inglewood resident, I've been coming here a long time, and I'd rather be an Inglewood resident that's concerned about this community than be an idiot. And anybody calls anybody names or disagree what they say, that is an idiot. And it's a disgrace to Inglewood. A total disgrace. And when you get up here to say things about a newspaper, you gotta be from the country somewhere where they have outhouses and you use a Sears Roebuck catalog. That's as country as it could be. And it should not be allowed in this chambers. And I agree with you, Mayor Butts. There comes a time when there are limits. However, you cannot do it because of the Constitution. Now, we have to talk about finances. We just completed the third quarter, will be June 30th. So it's time for us to get budget committee hearing soon. And we on a slippery slope, Mayor Butts. And to come out of it, you're gonna have to circle the wagons because all other cities are feeling the same thing, but they're doing something about it. They having budget hearings now. And they recognize the problem, and the only way you're gonna come out of it is recognize, yes, I have a problem. That's number one. Recognize, yes, we have a financial problem. And once you recognize that, we can circle the wagons and find solutions together. But it's not gonna go away by saying it doesn't exist. That's as juvenile as it gets, and there's no place in Inglewood for that. I thank you for your time, sir, and I have 30 seconds, and I will say this. We have the most intelligent residents reside in Inglewood, and the population is 115,000, not 150.
Said 115.
It's 115.
Said that.
Well, let's review it and see what he said. No, you don't know nothing, okay? I'm talking. Look, will you just be quiet?
Okay, your time's up, sir.
Okay, well, sir, don't let her interrupt me because that's unfair.
I see. Only you can demean people. I got it.
No, I don't talk when she talks.
You're done, sir. I understand how it works. You and Joe Texera decide who can say what.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, and staff, Ronald Davis, 2nd District. Quickly, I think that as adults, we should never have to resort to name calling at all, people. We're adults. And it takes away from what you're trying to say. And so let's just be adults here. You know? I may disagree with what someone believes or says, but I'm not going to demean them. I respect it. As long as it doesn't tread on me, we can both go along and get along. And with that in mind, I'm here to pass on some positive information. Hopefully it's something the city can use. I was born and raised in Vallejo, California, as I've mentioned before, and I still have a sentimental attachment. My father knew the Mayor Osby Davis, and so I'm basically on their website emailing list, just like I'm on Inglewood's mailing list. They have what's happening in Vallejo. And here's something that might be of interest. As you know, they had to go through their financial, basically, trials and tribulations. And so policing was just cataclysmically affected. I have a friend who worked in dispatch for years now, and I asked her when they went into bankruptcy and they had to do all the cuts, I said, what was your worst/longest day? She said it was the day we had 2 operational units. I said, 2 operational units? He says, yeah. I said, how many square miles is Vallejo? She says, 54 square miles. 2 operational units. That was their longest day. And that leads up to this point. They got creative. And they came up with something called VCAM, as in Vallejo Cam. It's where maybe we've already done this. Maybe this is old news for you. But what they said was, instead of having Vallejo have its own surveillance cameras up, let's reach out to the public and say, hey, if you've got surveillance property, let us know. And if something goes down in your neighborhood, and if the camera happens to be pointing out the window, out to the street because you're watching the living room, you'll pick up that picture out there in case a car drives by that's suspicious or was involved in a crime possibly. And so what I did was I ran out the article, and who's that to give it to? Well, my council representative, Mr. Padilla, would be the person that I would normally give it to. He represents me. And it shows a form. It's real simple, and you guys maybe can look at it. And if it's something we can institute, I'm happy to be of service to the community. And if I can have 15 minutes, 15 seconds.
You
and I'll get
definitely
it done
have
quick.
15 seconds.
15 seconds. You know,
Because if you have 15
seconds.
minutes, you have more than one. And if you have more than one, it ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work, right? There's only one queen in here, right?
15
All right.
seconds. 15 seconds. This past Sunday, 39th annual barbecue at the Adobe. Well attended. Some beautiful classic cars. Great food, people. Too bad you missed it. Try to get there next year. And the other thing I like to say, I like what's taking shape on the corner there on Centinela and over at High Park. So we're going to have a nice strip mall there of some kind soon. And with that, I hope that I just said something to make things positive. Because really that's my intention.
You absolutely did.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
After also District 2. Okay, let's get something straight here, guys, and people in the audience. I think the punk is Joe Testeria. Why? I've never seen a male, I've asked my brother, everyone, stuck on men as this man. Joe Testeria is stuck on Willie Brown and the mayor. To me, that's more punkish than the mayor and Willie Brown. I mean, how could you get up here and call the mayor of Inglewood out of his name? And you say that that is within the policy? No. Now, you put me out of here because I got smart with you. And you bought me out for 2 meetings. Why haven't you done something about this man? This man is really becoming high strung and dangerous. I tell you what, he leaked my way, that's it. And I'm serious, because this man is getting to the point where he's really charging him. I'm serious, and he's charging you, and it's getting dangerous. People nowadays are not the kind of people you overlook. Reggie's standing there, he can't use his weapon, because there's too many of us in here. But this fool could come up here and shoot him, me too. And who cares about the LA Times? This man don't have to live here. This man business been in here for 30 years. He paid taxes 40 years here. He pays taxes here. So what where he live? If the man want to live outside on a curb, that's your business. Judy Dunlap did not live here. I busted her in 2004. But what they do, they go after Rod Wright. Why? Why? 2004, that woman never lived here for 18 years and they didn't do anything. But yet it's a big deal because the man lived with his brother or whatever. Oh well. So what? Willie Brown paid taxes. So what is going on with this world? And you could laugh all you want, because when you're wrong, you don't admit it. You're ignorant. You're an old ignorant fool. That's what you are. And a lot of you all should be barred out of here. See that laughing, how stupid and ignorant he is to be so old? An old damn fool. And the newspaper. Don't say the outhouse. You know how we burn the newspaper for the mosquitoes in Louisiana? That's what you use the newspaper for. Trash. It's trash. That's what you use it for. In other words, this man is a druggie, right, for the Morningside Chronicle. He's a dopehead. He a fake preacher. He did everything. But yet these fools go over there, running over there, trying to help him to win the messed up election and lie about the people in the city of Inglewood.
We'll have to take this up.
Oh, okay, man.
Tuesday.
My time is up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but everybody else get 30 minutes. Buy that man out before somebody hurt that man. He leave that man, he's gone. I ain't afraid, because he's getting dangerous.
Okay. Billy, we're almost done.
Hi, how are you, Mr. Mayor, City Council, and everybody else? I just want to remind you that July 21st, on Monday, is our next Senior Citizen Committee meeting. And that's really all I wanted to remind you of. I wanted to say one thing about our election. You know, at the fire station here, when I went to cast my ballot, I found out that there was for the two senators, there was no punch for the two senators. And I asked the lady at the desk I was at, and another lady said that both senators are not running for election, so it was nobody there. And that I was supposed to sign whoever I wanted. I had to write in. I didn't know that you had to write in like that. Anyway, I wrote the names I wanted, and that's all I know. Can someone explain to me just what that was about, if you can, if you're not going to take up too much time?
The only thing, I don't know which district you're talking about.
Right here at the fire department,
No,
District 3?
no, I'm saying,
Oh.
well, I don't know what senatorial district you're talking about, because I don't remember my ballot, but I would tell you this, you always have the option to write in a candidate. I'm sure that's what they're referring to, but I don't know which senatorial district, so I couldn't give you an intelligent answer right now.
Oh, I see. Well,
Right.
okay. I better look more into
Yeah,
it. Thank
look at which district and see if that was really on the ballot this time.
There was
If you
nothing
go,
on
if
the
you go to lavote.net, then it'll show you all the positions that were up, and see if the one you were looking for was even on the ballot this time.
Okay. All right,
Okay?
thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. We'll close public comment. I have a little housekeeping. I nominate and I appoint Kelly Nikitas to the Art Commission.
I concur.
Madam City Clerk? Oh, Nikitas.
Thank
First
you,
name is
Nikitas.
Callie, actually, Kali.
Okay.
She doesn't make it easy.
Got it.
Madam Clerk?
Council members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Franklin,
Aye.
Mayor Butt.
Aye. Councilman Eloy Morales nominates and I appoint Milton Randall to the Human Affairs Commission.
I concur.
Madam Clerk? Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Franklin,
Aye.
Mayor Butt.
Aye. Councilman Eloy Morales nominates and I appoint Sergio Hernandez to the Human Affairs Commission.
I concur.
Madam Clerk?
Council members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Franklin,
Aye.
Mayor Butt.
Aye. I'm going to talk first tonight because I really do feel that we're getting out of hand again. No one should disparage anyone. I mean, I think our mothers taught us that. You can't cloak poor behavior and irrational behavior in free speech and believe that everyone's going to applaud it. And you can't disparage one name calling and ignore another and call yourself credible. And I do feel at this point that Mr. Teixeira, based on my experience and training, is an irrational person. This is my opinion. And Sergeant Blaylock, I want the DVDs pulled for the last meetings that he's been in. I want them put before an expert that evaluates behavior because it's just going too far. I would ask that other people in the audience not respond to him anymore. It demeans all of us. And as I said before, anyone in this audience that attempts to cloak that type of behavior while sanctioning other more benign behaviors, you have to look at your moral compass, and I'll tell you that right now. Once and for all, the successor agency, our redevelopment agency, let bonds over the years for various projects. Started in 1998, finished in 2007. The total bond indebtedness for the agency, and let me say this again, the agency is about $138,860,000. Those debts were meant to be financed by the redevelopment allocation that the city got every year, which was just under $21 million a year. When the redevelopment agencies were dissolved, that debt, that bond indebtedness, is the responsibility of the state of California. And those monies that we no longer received have to go to debt service. So for anyone that professes to understand accounting to continue to insist that this is a debt of the city, you either are willfully ignoring the facts or you just don't understand. This is not debt of the city. I've said it time and time again. If it was, we wouldn't have been making the debt service on it, and we'd be bankrupt. We never owed $1 billion to anybody. So there just comes a time when we just all have to grow up. I'm serious. We just have to grow up. I remember I came into the office and Mr. Matthews been telling us that we're going bankrupt, and here we are 3 years and counting. We haven't gone bankrupt yet. We're hiding this. You can't hide debt that you owe. People come for their money. Let's just use common sense. It's okay. We are not out of the woods yet. We're still having difficulty balancing our expenditures with our revenues, but we're definitely going to make it. So no one said we're out of the woods. We're not saying that. But we're doing some fantastic things to make it forward. But no, we don't owe the debt service on those bonds. The agency does, and the agency is gone, so it's the state. Councilman Franklin, start with you.
Yes, let me piggyback on the comments that keep coming out. And Mayor, I seek your leadership and the legal counsel's guidance. This phrase, freedom of speech, we need a clarification from the council, being the city attorney's office, what does that define? Because when I hear this constant character assassination, and that the person at the podium is to address the council, it seemed to have mushroomed to the point that the character assassination is now being pointed into the audience of this community. We understand as council that you can vet, but there's a quality of vet, and so we weigh that in consideration. To have you come after a publisher who may not reside in the city but has a business in the city is outrageous. We need to understand that no name calling needs to be made by anybody else in the audience, about somebody else in the audience, and that these issues, and the mayor is now getting a taste of what Councilmember Morales and I have dealt with for over a decade, of being called blind mice and bobbleheads and those kind of things, and the person knows it, regularly does this, but then when it identifies that he says we need to have censorship, but the person is the one that's doing it. I don't understand the logic. And so this needs to be get a hold of, identify that enough is enough. And we need to move forward for the will of this city. I shared with you at the last time I was here that there's a lot of people looking at Inglewood. They want to come to Inglewood, but they respond to what they hear and see, and that we need to continue to give the shining star that this council and this city is all about, and that we are the jewel of the South Bay. And speaking of that, I want to reach out and thank my colleagues for signing an accommodation, which I presented today to Miss Janet Gribbs, Griggs, who is a 35 years teacher that recently retired today from Clyde Woodworth Elementary School. I want to thank her for exceptional service to the Inglewood Unified School District, but more importantly, of giving of herself from her heart of the investment of our future, our children. On a sad note, Mayor, I'd like for you to close the meeting in honor of former Commissioner James W. Irvin, Dr. Lowenstein Irving's husband, who recently passed away. He has been a member of this city for a number of years, a resident of this city for a number of years, gainfully employed with Hollywood Park Racetrack before he retired, and then he has served in the capacity of commissioner like his wife currently is, and that he will be dearly missed. The viewing of his body will be Sunday, June 22nd from 1 to 5 at the Inglewood Mortuary, Manchester side, and the funeral services will be Monday, June 23rd at 11 a.m. at Temple of Believers Community Church, located at 11721 South Avalon in Los Angeles. And my heart goes out to the family and friends. Thank you, Mayor.
Councilman Dodson.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I'd like to say that this is where the city takes care of its business. And if we're going to take care of business here, we should act like people taking care of business. Here lately, we have started to have people use it for a clown show or a comedy act. This is not what this meeting is all about. We are here to take care of Inglewood City's business, and that's what we would like to do. And the men sitting up here, that's what we come here to do. Now, if you have a personal gripe or some personal vendetta with one of us, be a man and take care of it outside. This is not the place to do that. So with that, I thank you all for coming. I want to invite everybody to District 1's Town Hall meeting this coming Saturday, 14th. It will be held at the Veterans Building, 330 Centinela Boulevard, Inglewood, California. It's going to be a very interesting meeting. Republic Service will be there. Park and Recreation will be there. Centinela Hospital will be there. Public Safety will be there. Public Works will be there. You will be able to ask your questions, get answers, and we will also have an interpreter. So please come out. Light refreshments will be served. Please come out and get the information. I want to thank the following people for their support of Team Dotson in the successful Relay for Life fundraiser for the American Cancer Society. First, I'd like to thank Councilman Padilla for really getting me involved in this. It was his leadership and his pushing that got us all involved. I also want to thank Gina Marquez, Eric Holly, and the Inglewood Chamber of Commerce, Cheryl Gully, and the Delta Sigma Theta sorority, Chili's Restaurant, Michelle Hicks, Lee Denman, Charles Braggs, Commissioner Charles Braggs, Patricia Patrick, Jackie Coco, Patricia Blankhead, and Henry Brown. These people were outstanding in helping us do what we need to do. And we had sponsors. We will honor those sponsors next week. Thank you all for coming, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Councilman Padilla.
Thank you, Mayor. Before I get into my comments, I just want to ask you to please close, and I don't know his mother's name, but Leroy Fisher's mother.
I have it.
We have, all right. And then also, okay. Just want to go back and touch on what we've talked about earlier, and I had wrote some notes here. Please don't get sucked and suckered into other people's psyche or mentality when they decide to come up here and act foolish with nonsense. Continue to just be professional, as you always are, courteous and polite, and then move on. Make your point and move on. I think what happens is when people get their 3 minutes of fame, they just want to talk about anything and do it in a way that's very disrespectful. To come up here and to call our mayor a
Punk
name
is
like
what
he
he
did, that's ridiculous. That's so uncalled for. I've known this man for over 25 years. Far, far from that. You know, we all know he's a man of respect and a man of dignity and honor. And so it just kills me when somebody uses that word to describe this man. It's crazy. I had an opportunity as well to attend the Adobe's 39th annual barbecue on Sunday. I got to give, you know, a shout out to Diane Zambrano and her crew. They did an excellent job. The car show, the food was excellent. They had steak, chicken, potatoes. I mean, they had everything. They had a nice spread, and it was just another good community event. And so I know she worked hard to make that event a success. I want to talk about the successor agency issue that keeps coming up every week, and it's like, let me guess at what somebody's going to talk about. Let me guess. It's like, and you know, the mayor has so often, very eloquently and in detail, has gone over this successor agency and how it works and how now the bills are now over here with the state and they took it over. But it doesn't matter how many times that he makes that explanation in simple English, that we have the same person gets up here and bam, there they come with their same story. And it's after a while, it just gets old. It's like, brother, did you not hear what the mayor said last week and the week before that? And I get it that you're allowed to come up here and say what you want, but come on, keep it real. You know, don't get foolish with it. I want to, Mayor, if I can get 30 seconds.
You certainly can.
I want to
As long as
thank.
you don't go over what Wanda gets.
Oh, no, I never go over what Wanda gets.
All right.
All respect. I want to thank the community, city staff, the mayor, the council, everyone for coming out this past weekend for the American Cancer Society's Relay for Life. You know, last year we had raised $21,000. We set the goal to do 30,000. Weren't sure if we were going to get that 30, but we thought, you know what, let's go for it. This community will step up. We know they will. Well, I got to tell you, you stepped up, and you stepped up big time. We've raised over $40,000 in counting. So again,
Sabrina Barnes and her crew. They did an outstanding job. It was good to see a lot of you out there all hours of the day and in the wee hours, breaking bread together. So again, just thank you for your support, for everything that you do and continue to do for our community. So thank you so much for coming out tonight as well. Thank you.
Best relay for life in the history of the city. There was so much community. There was so much love. It was, all the council were here. Even when Councilman Franklin flew in, he came there for the night. It was absolutely wonderful. Full participation by the city council. The city treasurer walked laps around us, but she gets to talk more time than we do. So, you got to step up. I do want to go back to this issue. Mr. Texera talks about a letter we got from the district attorney's office, and he showed him a video where we put him out. And I do feel, and I have great respect for the DA, but I think that there was a disservice done because I think that emboldened Mr. Texera. And this is beyond name calling. We're public officials. People have a lot of latitude to say things to us. That's okay. But usually people are constrained by just common decency and morals. And when you do that to a person, you're trying to evoke anger because you have great anger yourself. You want someone to respond back to you and keep it going. And that's why I'm going to ask everyone again to not respond to him. I appreciate your respect, but this has gone beyond free speech, no matter how much you might like it, Mr. Matthew. This is wrong. And again, Sergeant, I'm serious. I want this tape evaluated by a mental health professional and someone that can do a threat assessment, because this is not normal. This is not normal at all. And we owe it to the safety of the people that come to this council meeting to know that we're taking prudent actions to ensure their safety, because I've never seen anything like this in my life, never. And I've been in law enforcement for 37 years. I want to close the council meeting in the name of Rachel Fisher, the mother of Leroy Fisher, a longtime resident of Osage Villas. Her funeral service will be at McCormick Mortuary at 635 South Prairie, Monday, June 16th at 11 a.m. Again, as Councilman Franklin and the city clerk mentioned, we're going to close the meeting in the name of James Irvin, who passed on Wednesday, June 4th, 2014, the husband of District 4 Aviation Commissioner Lostine Irvin. In the name of Joseph Kay, a longtime resident and an elections worker. And in the name of Hermina Gonzalez, the aunt of Councilman Eloy Morales, who passed away, and he can't be here tonight, dealing with family issues. And I want to say, Councilman Dotson, I would be at your town hall meeting, but my niece that I've raised for the last 5 years, Quanisha Anderson, is graduating from UCLA on Saturday, and so I won't be there. All right. So we're adjourned.